Hi and Assalamualaikum. So me and my group members from Group 4 want to present about the neuromuscular junction. So the topics outlined that we cover in this presentation is, the first one is introduction, and then the structure of neuromuscular junctions, process of neuromuscular junctions, common diseases of neuromuscular junctions, and also the conclusion. Right now, I will be cover the part of the introductions of neuromuscular junction. So, neuromuscular junctions, or we call it as neural junction, is a chemical synapse between a motor neuron and a muscle fiber. It allows the motor neuron to transmit a signal to the muscle fiber, causing muscle contractions. And then the NMJ, or we call it neuromuscular junctions, was the first vertebrate synapse to be well categorized. It also served as a model chemical synapse that provides a basis for understanding more complex synaptic interactions among neurons in the central nervous system. It is also the site for the transmissions of action potential from nerve to the muscle. And furthermore, it also a site for many diseases and a site of action for many pharmacological drugs. Then the next page is that this is when we use the electron micrograph, show the cross sections through the neuromuscular junctions. So for the T is known as axon terminal, the arrow is junctional folds with basal lamina, and the M is the muscle fiber.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Amar and I will be talking about the structure or the components of neuromuscular junction. To begin with, this is the image of the neuromuscular junctions under a microscope, and this is the illustration of it. Here we can see the skeletal muscle fiber, axon branch, and also the axon terminal. The myofibril of the muscle cells can be seen here. But we will focus on the neuromuscular junction, which is a specialized synapse between a motor neuron nerve terminal and its muscle fiber. Here we can see the axon branch, axon terminal, and since this is a nerve cell, and all cells have plasma membrane, we can also see the plasma membrane of the axon. Inside the axon terminal, there is synaptic vesicles which carries neurotransmitter. And in this picture, we can see the synaptic cleft. On the muscle cell side of this process, we have the sarcolemma, which is the cell membrane for the muscle cell. And in both axon terminal and muscle cell, there are some mitochondria to produce energy for this process. Now, we will look at the components present inside the axon terminal, sarcolemma, and also what between them, the synaptic cleft. Here, we can see the axon terminal does not physically touch the muscle fiber. For short, the synaptic vesicles will transport the acetylcholine, or ACH, from the axon terminal to the folded sarcolemma, and the acetylcholine esterase, or we call it ACHE, and also natrium ions are also present in the synaptic cleft. And finally, on the surface of the folded sarcolemma are the ACH receptors.
The neuromuscular junction NMJ is a specialized synapse that serves to transmit electrical impulses, which is action potentials, from the motor neuron nerve terminal to the skeletal muscle. Basically, the NMJ allows for efficient and reliable communication between the motor neuron nerve and the muscles required for contraction and movement. The primary chemical messenger in this synapse, which consists of the presynaptic region, the synaptic cleft, and the postsynaptic surface, is acetylcholine. These regions are defined by the differential localization of specific proteins, which underlie their distinct anatomical features and their physiological roles. Now, it's time to briefly sum up what goes on in the neuromuscular junction as shown in this diagram. Firstly, the action potential or electrical impulse signal reaches the nerve terminal in the presynaptic region. The hallmark feature of the nerve terminal is that it contains the synaptic vesicles along with the proteins that have vesicle function. These vesicles are aligned near their release site, called an active zone. Next, when action potentials reach the nerve terminal, they activate the calcium voltage-gated channels, which open up and facilitate the influx of calcium into the presynaptic terminal, which in turn commences the process of vesicular release into the synaptic cleft. Thirdly, the increase in intracellular calcium concentration triggers the fusion of the synaptic vesicles with the nerve terminal membrane. The mechanism of synaptic vesicle fusion involves conformational changes in multiple docking proteins, both on the vesicle and the nerve terminal's plasma membrane. The process is known as exocytosis. Once fused with the nerve terminal membrane, the vesicle releases its contents into the extracellular space, also known as a synaptic cleft. The chemical or neurotransmitters, in this case it's acetylcholine, released then bind to their corresponding receptors on the postsynaptic surface, also known as the motor end plate in the neuromuscular junction. Verses 5 and 6. So acetylcholine binds to its receptors and opens ligand-gated sodium channels. These structures are designed to optimize cholinergic neurotransmission in order to produce an end plate potential, EPP. The EPP is simply the net synaptic depolarization caused by the release of acetylcholine, triggered by the nerve action potential. The EPP serves to open the voltage-gated sodium channels in the postsynaptic region, which in turn results in an action potential that triggers muscle fiber contraction. These changes in the postsynaptic region potential result in muscle stimulation and contraction. Acetylcholinesterase degrades the acetylcholine so that choline can be reuptaged and recycled to produce new acetylcholine molecules. Its activity terminates synaptic transmission. So this is the physiology of neuromuscular junction.
Okay, so now I will cover symptoms and some of the types of diseases related to neuromuscular junction. Some of the common symptoms are muscle weakness, movement issues, balance problems, numbness, and droopy eyelids, which is the most frequent early sign of myasthenia gravis. Next, we go to the types of neuromuscular junction diseases. The first one is amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, which is a fatal type of motor neuron disease causes progressive degeneration of nerve cells. The symptoms are twitching and cramping of muscles, loss of control in hands and arms, trouble using arms and legs, which causes tripping or falling. The second disease is Charcot-Marie-Tooth disease. It is an inherited nerve problem, causes abnormalities in the nerves. The symptoms are weakness of foot and lower leg muscles, numbness, tingling, burning or loss of temperature sensation, and discomfort or pain in hands and feet. Okay, next we have myasthenia gravis. It causes problems with communication between nerves and muscles, which resulting in weakness. So the symptoms are visual problems, including drooping eyelids and double vision, trouble swallowing or pronouncing words, weakness of the neck or limbs, and shortness of breath. For the last one is muscular dystrophy. It's a group of the genetic diseases, and the symptoms are waddling way of walking, difficulty climbing stairs, difficulty rising from lying or sitting, repeated falling, and the last one is trouble breathing or tolling. So for further details about these diseases, you can easily click the link at the end of the slide.
And lastly, for the conclusion part, to sum up, the neuromuscular junction is a microstructure present at the junctions of motor neurons and the skeletal muscle fiber. It acts as a bridge connecting the skeletal system and the nervous system. There are common types of neuromuscular junction diseases and some type of their diseases, and there are few steps of process of neuromuscular junction. And lastly is the structure of neuromuscular junction, including the presynaptic part, nerve terminal, the postsynaptic part, motor end plate, and an area between the nerve terminal and motor end plate synaptic cleft. So here are the some reference that we use to complete this presentation and make some reading and research.
close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Finding life along the way, melodies we haven't played. No, I don't want no rest. Echoing around these walls, fighting to create a song. I don't wanna miss a beat. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun